Welcome back to Big Chat Energy. Now, first, before we get started, I want to introduce our newest cast member.
Yep.
Thank you so much.
Dajon, you want to say what's up to the people?
You know what? I am truly happy to be here. I love being around like-minded individuals.
Talk about it.
To progress towards a bigger goal. So I feel, I'm just happy and I'm thankful to be here. I really am.
I'm thankful for you.
I feel like the nigga that came in on the Temptations after David left. How did you know that?
Well, because black folk.
You know what?
Because black folk.
Black, I know.
But at the end of the day, the show must go on.
The show must go on,
So,
and the show is
what?
going to go on. So.
How about we toast to that?
Let's cheers to the show going on.
Yes.
Cheers to that.
Blah, 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 blah. Oh.
Ooh.
Yeah, somebody gonna get some good dick tonight.
Okay. So after that toast, I definitely want to shout out our sponsor, Spills on Wheels. Thank you for this top shelf alcohol that you provide us
Thank
with.
you, brother. Thank you, Keenan.
Love you. So we know Dajon's here.
Yeah.
But always we have Jameer.
Hello. Peace and blessings to you, everybody.
We also have Jazz.
What up, Jazz?
Hey, Jazz.
Jazzy Faye.
And then, of course, me. I ain't going nowhere, y'all. Kelsey, K Carter, whatever it is that you want to call me. So today, guys, I want to talk about something, I want to say serious, and I want to talk about money. When I say money, I'm talking about credit, I'm talking about investing, I'm talking about savings, things that I never learned. I'm actually learning now as a 29-year-old woman. So I had an honest conversation with my mom, and I basically said, well, I never really learned about credit score. I never really learned about having an emergency fund, just in case something happens. So why you ain't teach me? And, she basically was honest, and she said, well, she was never taught, and, it was different back then. And she basically said, since I've always kept a job since I was 15, she just assumed that I was always good with money. And I'm just curious if anyone else had to go through this too, or is it just a me thing?
Yeah.
I for sure I was not allowed to have no credit card until I was 24, maybe.
Damn.
Because
you could have made that decision on your own.
I know, and I did make the decision on my own. But until when I was younger, I wasn't allowed to have a credit card. Like when people had credit cards, I wasn't allowed to have a credit card. I didn't start working until I was 18.
Oh, okay.
So I was always spoiled. I always had stuff given to me. So and I really wanted a credit card. And I used to tell my family, like, I don't have a credit card. I want a credit card. My mom just would never let me have a credit card because I guess she thought that I would just spend the money on the credit card and not be able to pay it back.
Probably.
And she wanted me to be able to know how to properly use a credit card and not just have that debt, I guess. So I'm just now having a credit card, and even with my credit card, I don't really use it often. I think I used it like twice for like an emergency. But I'm not good with paying things back, so I'm good off of.
Mama was right.
I want everybody to take note of that.
Yeah.
Just in case you
Don't
try
give
to
her
holler.
shit.
No, I
gonna get it
back. I just don't want to overuse it. People use their credit cards and don't think about the money that they have to pay back.
Well, the thing about credit is, just to, piggyback off that, the thing about credit is that a lot of people don't know, which I learned, is you should only use 33% of the credit card.
Of the credit line.
Of the credit line.
33%.
It's not, I got this limit, let me max it out. Because that affects your credit score, which, like I said, I'm learning. What about you guys? Because I always feel like guys are different with money than women.
I want to go back to your first point when you spoke about your mother and your mother's mother never teaching her.
Right.
I believe that within the black community, this is a systematic approach that's really been taking place because, within our community, it's not taught.
Right.
But then when you look at white people, you look at Indian people, this is something that they come into the world like, this is how you act with money.
My God.
And I feel like the thing about us and especially for men, when we get money, me personally, I was at a point when I was young, and whenever I got money, it had to be spent. So if I went to the mall, my goal was to leave with no money. You know what I mean? I wanted to buy everything. But this is me young, like middle school, you know, and then I crept, because I had a job when I was like 17. When I was like 17,
that's how we do.
I was, grocery store, whatever, nigga, whatever. Anything I could do to get that bag, I was doing it.
I feel you.
But just like you were saying, my mom never really taught me, because my mom wasn't good with money. And then my grandma never really taught her.
It trickles down.
Right,
It's a systematic thing that's like going on within our community, and it has to stop somewhere. Which is why I'm glad that we have this topic, because I'm 29 now, and it took me 29 years to really understand how to manage finances, how to learn that just because you have money. Because one of the things I always told myself was, like say like I was supposed to spend money on something, but then that fell through, so I didn't have to spend it. And then I went to go buy something else. In my mind, I'm telling myself, well, I was going to spend it anyway. So it don't matter if I spend it now. One of the things I had to learn growing up was just because you have it, it doesn't mean that you necessarily need to spend it. You know what I mean? So I think for guys, a big thing that happens is we know that women love niggas with money. So when we get it, we want to spend it, and we kind of, and I'm talking about at like a young, immature age, where like you want to spend it, and then you want to spend it on the girl, you want to have nice shit. That's another thing too. Like niggas ain't want to go to school, and you ain't got them white Air Forces. You know what I'm saying? I need them. I need that $80 to be spent on these forces. So you know, to just piggyback and bring everything like full circle, it's a systematic thing that's going on within our community where we aren't being taught exactly how to use our finances to better ourselves. Rather, we learn through trial and error.
Yeah. I mean, y'all all make good points. I think it's interesting how in the Black community, I think we make up, we're the largest number of spending power in the U.S., but we make up the smallest amount of ownership. You know what I'm saying? We spend over $1 trillion every year on just material shit. So if you think about that, like clothes and, you know, cars and whatever, all that shit. But we never know how to recoup our shit and put it into ownership. And like you said, it's definitely systematic. It's no hunch or just theory on like, you know, why, no coincidence rather, knowing that our parents didn't know what to do with money. And so they just kind of threw us out there in the, you know what I'm saying? So I got to an age where I finally started learning, and I was able to talk to my mom about like some financial literacy things, like when I got to her level, but there was no like guiding because she was trying to get her shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
When poor, like it's nothing but survival. So Black people are taught to survive. We're not taught to live or how to have values in that sense as a whole about money and financial situations. Like if we could get off with not going to jail and, you know, at least have all our bills paid, that's like the goal amongst the community. I'm not just, you know, talking about nuances, but as a whole, we doing fucked up as far as teaching our kids and the next generation that's coming up under us about money, because we've always been taught and conditioned to survive. So if the only thing we know how to do is survive, then that means we surviving, but we make ourselves happy with clothes, kicks, cars, all that shit. So we show our happiness instead of having like, you know, sweatpants every day and flip-flops, you know what I'm saying? And we'll be able to tuck that money away because we need to show how happy we are. So
go ahead.
What's interesting to me is I was a manager years ago, and I managed high school kids in a very white community. And when I would tip out, you know, the kids, I was just having regular conversation with them, and it was so interesting how different they handled money. One example, and it stuck with me. This was years ago, and it stuck with me. One example was this you know, white kid. He was 16 years old. He told me, he was just like, yeah, when my account hits $2,000, I see it as zero. I said, excuse me? He said, when my account is $2,000, I see it as zero. From there, I said, well, damn. I said, I have to have that mindset. And another one, this girl, she was in college, and she was just like, well, she was a senior in high school getting ready to go to college, and she was like, yeah, you know, my parents take care of everything. My checks go directly to them, and they set up an account for me for when I go to college. And she said, what I'm allowed to spend on whatever I want is my tips. And I said, it's just crazy how we've been working for 10 years and
generational wealth.
we have nothing to show for
Yeah.
it. But, you know, we do have to stop it. We have to figure out for our next, because, you know, we're going to have children and we're going to have to do things, you know, totally different than our parents did from us. And it's like, I personally don't even know where to start because I'm still learning. Like, I'm learning what credit means. I'm learning how important a credit score is. Without your credit score being a certain amount, they won't even look at you. They'll be like, excuse me?
People don't understand how valuable credit is. Like, you can't do anything.
Nothing.
If you call to open up a cell phone account at Sprint, Verizon, wherever, the first thing they do is they run your credit real quick to see if you could even be trusted. My nigga, this is for a phone.
Yeah, right.
A phone.
Right.
A phone. So when it comes to cars, houses, things, now you need people to co-sign for you. Loans for college, things like that. And now you have to have a co-signer. You know what I mean? Now you bringing somebody else into your shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Right. So you even more stressed. You know, I think back to like that starts making my mind go to where I think about other races, right? So think about the white people, right? So now you go back to slavery time. So years and years and years ago, when people got property, it wasn't that they bought it. It was that these white people got to these lands and was like, okay, this is my area and this is your area. Now, this is years ago. Now, speed it up a little bit. These big ass houses down south and stuff like that were on slave plantations that just got passed down.
Right.
To their children. So you need to realize that nobody really worked for that. Now you got people with these big ass houses. Think about in like East Rutherford, if you go by like Felician College, huge ass houses. And then immediately I think to myself, everybody can't be rich, but everybody can't be able to afford it. And then you automatically realize this is shit that was passed down.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it ain't that they paying for it. Yeah, you paying property tax on it, but it's been passed down. You ain't gonna see no African Americans up in that house.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
very unlikely.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
like one out of one.
But you gotta look at things like that and say, you know what? I want better for me. I want better for my family. I want better for my kids that's not even here yet.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just like the kids you said that said, my parents will take my money and I only really live off my tips. Now, you gotta think like as a kid, how much money do you really need?
Yeah.
Now, for us as kids in high school, middle school, we like, nigga, I need all that money.
But in all actuality, you don't even like.
You don't
Because our parents are
You
supplying the
don't need it.
necessities.
You don't realize until we get older what you really and truly do not need.
Right.
You know what I mean? But the good thing is that we know. You know what I mean? So now we could not only to our kids, but to our homeboys, to our homegirls.
Yeah.
When I talk to my niggas, I tell them, I be like, bro, you don't need it. I be like, don't do it. I be like, don't do it. I'm like, don't do it. I've been there. Been there, did that.
And exactly, and we have to be there for each other, right?
You gotta be there.
What can we do? Let's all say, what can we do to help each other or help ourselves or help people that are looking? Because I know we're not the only ones. You know what I mean?
You know what it is? It's like we've identified it, but now we got to act on it in real life. You know, because people will say, I've had mad conversation, you know, we gotta get our money up. You know what I'm saying? We gotta recycle the black dollar.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's important. And then they'll go out to the strip club and just blow their whole check.
Pay somebody else money.
Exactly. So my thing is, if you know what the problem is and you know the solution, it's time to now act. You got to get from point A to point B.
Right.
And sometimes that means sacrifice. You can't be spending your bread going out every night to get something to eat, or, you know, going to the club, or spend it on Jordans or cars and shit. Like, invest in some generational wealth. Like, stack money away every check, right?
First.
Save off top. Store away some of that. You know what I'm saying? Like, for instance, I have conversations with people, like, you know, the lottery been like $1.6 billion, like crazy shit. So people will be like, what you gonna do when you know, if you hit the lottery?
Cash App, oh yeah.
Thank you. That's what you should do. Thank you. But like, I was like, I'm saving half of that. Like, already half.
Nobody ever says that.
Nobody ever says that.
That's I like the first thing I do is hop on the plane and I'm out.
Half off rip. Why? Because I know how reckless shit could get.
Right.
So already, like, half of that is going in the bank. And then I'm putting another portion in investing. I need land.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But it took me to 30 years for me to start visualizing like what money really does and how you keep money. And it's recycling through shit that's everlasting. Funeral homes, people always want to die. Daycares, people always need someplace to put their kids. Laundromats, you invest in shit that's always going to recoup money for you. So you always collecting a check.
Yeah, I definitely agree.
I don't think people think about investing either. Like looking at Wall Street and what's that app that came out that everybody was investing in?
Bitcoin. Bitcoin came out. I put some money in that.
Cryptocurrency.
Well, a lot of people. I don't mean to cut you off. A lot of people. What I feel like, I feel like a lot of people are scared of what they don't know.
Right.
So automatically you think to yourself, investing, and then you don't really understand. You don't even know what the shit means. Right. You don't even know the companies that you invest in. You don't even know how to read and understand that. So people automatically back up like, nah, I'm good. I'm gonna just stash a little money to the side and let it. No, nigga, go sit down and read about that. Learn about that shit. Just like when the Bitcoin shit dropped, everybody was talking to me. I understand what the fuck was going on, but I knew it was hot. So nigga, Google. Google. Nigga, I sat down, I read everything I need to understand about, and I threw that money in there real quick. You know what I mean? Knowledge is power.
Facts.
You know what I mean? And until we all sit and really try to understand like what's going on. Now, the fact that it took you 30 years, it took me 29 years, it took you 29 years, it took you however many years, 20-something years. You know what I mean? The fact that it took us all that long, I blame us. I don't really blame my mother. You know what I mean? Because at 12, nigga, 12. I was a badass kid. But at 12, I understood right from wrong. Right. You know what I mean? I understood that. And then now I'm in college at the age of 18, I understood right from wrong.
Well, it wasn't a priority.
Knew what it wasn't a priority. It wasn't a priority to me.
You're not even thinking about it.
I'm thinking about it.
Yeah.
We had the mindset of, well, look, we got a check coming every 2 weeks.
Yeah, I need this now.
And we not necessarily looking that far out. Like now when I'm playing things, I don't to like even go to your point about African Americans just wanting to survive. That's systematic. That's what we've been raised to do. Now survive. Now those type of individuals get in a space where, because I got family members that actually do this. They just live in day to day. It's like you know what? I'm just trying to get to tomorrow. Exactly. I'm gonna get to tomorrow until eventually you hit Friday. That's payday. Boom. Now you feel comfortable. Right. Saturday, Sunday come, Monday, boom. Now you back to stressing again.
Oh my God, we have to break that cycle.
It's super important. It starts with us. You know what I mean? The people, just like you said, identifying it, realizing what's going on. Now understand what you need to do to break yourself out of that cycle. And then ultimately, I really feel like it's understanding what you don't need, because most of us feel like we get in a position where we want to keep up.
Keeping up with the Joneses.
And you gotta blame social media for some of that. Because the pictures don't really tell you the whole truth. You'll never get the whole truth from a picture. You'll see a nigga in Miami, you'll see a nigga in Cali, you'll see a nigga traveling all around.
But you don't know he got that discount.
You do not know
on Frontier.
If Shorty paid for him, he flew Frontier and could only bring one bag. You know what I mean? Nigga, no, not Frontier. Spirit. And only could bring one bag. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, like
I'm about to say, I ain't sleeping on
that. Sleeping on the budget. Sometimes you got ball on the budget.
Yeah, you got
ball on the budget.
But people don't ever understand that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I went to Cali, like 3 weeks ago, maybe last month. I went to Cali. I was every fucking where. I did every fucking thing. Ask me how much money I spent on that trip.
Zero.
Nothing.
Nothing.
But that's important.
Niggas was messaging me like, nigga, you balling.
It's okay to ball
I just
on
know
the
the right
budget. It's
people.
okay.
But I hate when people.
But that shit get people in trouble, because now internally you start feeling like you start feeling like you're not doing enough. You're like, you know what, I need to do this, I need to do it. Now you spend the money that you ain't got.
But that's because people talk so much. They always judge and they always got something to say.
Something negative
like
to say.
It has to be you have to do this, or you have to spend money on a Delta flight, or you have to be at the best hotel, or you got to do what the other person is doing. It doesn't have to be like that.
Niggas will look at you crazy if you say you find Spirit. Ugh.
Frontier.
You doing what? Yeah, nigga, if a nigga say you find Frontier,
they can look at me however, but when I
got there. I got to where I was going.
And I got that $40 flight.
I got to where I was going, though.
See,
you know what I'm saying?
We worry about the wrong shit. That's the problem.
Right.
Like, again, keeping up with the Joneses got a lot of us fucked up.
Right.
I don't give a fuck about
I'm
keeping up.
trying to go broke.
Like, for real, my thing is, when I get on, you'll never be able to tell it.
Yeah.
Because I'm gonna stay the same way. You ain't gonna see me in no platinum suit. You ain't never gonna see me in a Bentley.
No,
you ain't
no
never
Bentley?
gonna see me with
No Bentley truck?
Fuck no.
No Bentley
'Cause
truck?
what does that do for me as far as recouping my? First of all, I don't need a Bentley to tickle some coochie. I don't need that. You don't need that.
He could get a Mercedes.
And you know, I'll be honest with you. That's another problem with when
You be
niggas.
tickling coochie?
I take a little tickle.
A little
But it's a problem.
2 fingers in one.
People, I mean, depends on how I'm feeling. A little more of this Remy, it might be 3. Might hit him with the old threesome up. But people feel like they have to show themselves because they don't have personality.
Yeah.
Right.
You run into a lot of corny people with no personality who would fuck the game up because they like, let me stand on my wealth to show who I am.
Right.
And now they trying to attract all these women or all these people and it don't got nothing to do with that shit.
Right.
If you corny, you corny. No matter if you corny with a platinum chain or not. You corny.
Yeah.
And people are gonna see that.
Right.
I just happen to not have money and not be as corny. I'm a little corny, but not that corny. Right? That's it.
So I have a question. So two questions. Do you guys know anything about the difference between banking black and if there's any benefits to it? And then also, I think I was having this conversation with Dajon. I had just got a new credit card and I just got it for my traveling only. And this is the first time I'm reading and I'm like, oh shit, when I spend money, I can get money back. And I'm like, do people know this?
Yeah.
Well,
I think people look over that. For sure.
That goes back to what I was telling you about knowledge is power.
Yeah.
Most people open up a credit card, but you didn't read the fine print.
Right.
You don't know
how
that.
much
You don't know that if you spend in a certain
the
place
interest,
that you get interest
read
back.
those emails that they're sending you.
You don't know that if you spend a certain amount that they'll replenish this much.
Right.
You don't know that you're like I have American Express, so I know that and I'll be reading the fine print. So I set up the notifications on my phone within that app to let me know where I can spend money at. If I'm in this particular location, let me know what am I around that I can spend money on and I could get some money back.
Yeah, better download the app.
A lot of people don't read the fine print. And to your point, I was just having this conversation at the gym with my boy, and I was telling him, open up a credit card. Okay, so everybody got a job. Everybody got direct deposit. Boom.
Yeah.
So that money automatically come to you. Now, each and every last one of us up here have everyday things that we do. Gas, food, your phone bill. Just to name a few things that you pay for regardless, that you know you got to pay for. Open up a credit card. Now that could be your everyday card.
Yep.
Now you already know you have that money coming in your account that you are specifically going to use for this haircut. You know what I mean? I know I'm spending $20 on a haircut. I know I'm spending $30 on gas. I know that at some point I got to spend $100 something on my phone bill. Obviously you could go more than those 3. Gas you got for the week.
Right.
But whatever, Practical shit that you know no matter what, you spending money on that.
Yeah.
That's a fact.
Get a credit card. Swipe that credit card for your everyday shit. And usually you could wait, and they have days where you can make your payment on a credit card once a month.
Yeah.
Fuck that. You don't never wait for that.
That's
as soon
right.
as you swipe
Never
that
wait for
bitch,
that.
get home,
Pay that
shit off right then and there.
And throw a little bit extra on
Throw
it.
extra on
Throw
it.
some extra on
Even
it.
if you want to try to get ahead of the game a little bit, if you know that bill is $20, put $30 on it. No. If you have a $60 bill, and for that month you want to pay $25, but it's a $60 bill, just pay $30 on it. You know what I mean? Now next month come around, boom, you got an extra $30.
You got an extra.
And it's already paid off.
Yep.
Because a lot of people don't know this as well.
Very true.
The longer it take you to pay whatever you have to pay off, now this is where I go back to reading the fine print. It increases.
Yeah.
The value increases because that's the interest that was built into that card. Because now it took you 6 months to pay off something that you necessarily could have paid off in 3 months.
That's a
It
fact.
took you 6 months to pay, but now at the end of those 6 months, the credit line is shrinking, but people don't realize that because of the interest on the card. Nigga,
Right.
it's taking you too long to pay this off.
Yeah.
Right.
We ain't saying that you're not gonna pay it off, but it's taking you a while to pay it off. So
You've
so
been
the longer
supposed
it
to pay
take
that
you,
off.
exactly.
Yeah.
The longer it take you to pay it off, we just gonna keep adding interest to it.
Yeah.
And I found that out by mistake one day. Because when I called, I said on the phone, it was like, all right, Dajon, this is your balance. And this is what you got due for the month. So I always go, okay, cool. I got $20 due for the month, $20 due for the month. But one thing that I didn't notice was the balance wasn't really dropping. I'm like, nigga, I just gave y'all $100. Why is the balance not dropping? So I called them. I was like, yo, I pay this every month on time, blah, blah. It was like, yeah, well, you taking too long to pay it. You know what I mean? You did this 6 months ago. You know what I mean? Like, you probably could have been paid it off. So I tell people all the time, get you an everyday card.
Yep.
And I think this is a great thing for, especially within the African American community to do, because we don't even realize it. You got shit that you pay for every week, no matter what. Every month, no matter what, you got things that you pay for. Get that credit card, swipe it. As soon as you swipe it, go home, pay that shit off. I don't even go home. I go in the car. As soon as I swipe it, I go to the barbershop, swipe it.
So
swipe
wait,
it.
where are
Bruh.
So,
I sit in the car, call it, I pay it off right there.
what are other ways that if people are not at that level, we need to talk about what are other ways that they can watch how they're spending their money, like calendars and.
I think it's
Do
important
you write
to
your stuff down?
Yeah, you like
definitely write it down.
Do you save your receipts?
Books. Yeah.
They got apps. They got
Check, and also like people send, you could, if you do online baking, which everybody should be doing.
Yeah.
You can calculate. It calculates already for you everything that you spend for that duration of time. As soon as you swipe, that shit is on there. So it gives you a realistic look at what you're doing. The problem is that people always prolong. I've noticed this about us. We prolong our shit. I pay that shit off. I pay that shit off. That shit get people in real trouble. Like case in point, I'm usually good. An emergency came up, I had to swipe unnecessarily. I swiped for a crazy amount of money. I was supposed to get the money back from somebody.
You know how that go.
And you know how
that go.
So here's what I will say. If it's not practical and you don't really have it like that, don't swipe. You don't have to.
You don't.
See, people think you have to. I shouldn't have never been in a situation. It was a family situation. Had to swipe. Because, family. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Because family, they'll get into some shit.
Because they credit already fucked up.
Exactly. Now they got you fucking up your shit.
Credit too.
You know what I'm saying? So now I'm paying back off a bill that's so high that I never had before. Yeah. And now, like you said, it's taking me a minute to pay it off because I'm trying to get back on my feet. Right. I still ain't get the money from that.
You know what? Speaking of borrowing money, in my opinion, I feel like number one, I really don't lend money out because it's like
I give it out.
If you want to lend money out, don't expect it back.
I don't lend. I just give it.
I'm very funny about asking for money because you don't want that over your head. Like
I'm the same exact way.
So I wouldn't suggest that. Just to your point of how we can move forward, and also with savings, which I know a lot of people don't do. Save first.
Facts.
Don't pay this. Save first, whether it be, and do a set amount, right? So do either 15% of your check, or if you do freelance or whatever, you're going to get this certain amount. Say, all right, I'm gonna save this from that, and put it in an account away from your regular account. Yeah. I have a savings account that's like 10 miles from me. I have no debit card for it. I have nothing. All I do is put money in the bank. I deposit. I said, don't even call me and let me know how much is in there. Because I don't need to know.
Yeah.
That's for something.
That's what I did for my 401k.
Yeah.
I ain't even touch it. Just let it keep.
And then even with income tax time, don't be like, yo, I'm about to buy this stuff. I'm about to buy this stuff.
You know what? The crazy part is with income tax, people don't know that that's their own money coming back to them.
Right.
They think like this money just coming out of the air. Yeah. The government going,
just gave me $3,000.
Bad, bro.
They did not give you that money.
That's all the money you got
work for that. You work for that. You work for it.
Blowing your own bread.
Don't blow it unless you got kids. You got a lot of kids. You got
I mean,
like Miami.
You can go buy Coke.
Yeah,
nah, you can't do
You
that.
spending bundles.
So my suggestion for income tax is pay off something or save it. Or do half.
It's
you know
yours.
what I mean?
Save that shit.
To your
Save
point,
it or do half.
To your point about the lending out money, because I know we kind of ran through that really quick, but I want to let our followers know.
That's important.
Never lend out anything that you're not ready to not get back.
That's a fact.
Don't expect it
That
back.
is not
Don't
honest
be
to
like
God's
me.
truth.
Yeah.
Because family.
For me, I will just, if somebody hit me up, they want the money, I'm like, look, here you go. You know what I mean? Because I'm the type of person like this. If I ask you for money, and I tell you, I'm gonna give it to you on this day, you're gonna have that money on that day.
Yeah.
Right.
So when I lend out money to people, I expect the same thing in return.
Everybody
I need my shit.
like that.
Everybody not that honorable.
Right.
So in your mind, you gotta say, okay, here, Dajon, I need to borrow $20. I'm calculating shit in my head. I need to know that I'm in a good space to give away $20.
Right.
Because I know there's a chance I ain't gonna get it back. So I'm like, here you go, boom. And most times I don't even ask for it back. Now, depending on the amount, I need to. A lot of people, and y'all about to laugh, I made niggas sign a little contract real quick.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Because I will take your ass to Judge Mathis.
I feel you.
Ain't nothing wrong with
We're gonna
that.
be in Chicago on the 3rd floor. Don't ask me how I know where it's at.
Wow.
You been there?
Running for that. Nah, I know somebody that did it though.
Let a nigga
because
call you a
niggas ain't
crackhead.
playing. If you ever watch, I love watching Judge Mathis. Them niggas be in there arguing for $230.
That's a fact.
Run me mine.
But so what? I want my money.
Small
At the end of the day,
crackhead, my shit.
I just want to let our followers know, if you're in a position where you feel like even for you, it's family or something like that, and you feel like you want to give some money out, only give out what you are willing and
To not
prepared
have
to
Tell me
not have
trash
that.
him. I shouldn't.
You have to do it. No, don't feel bad because it's
I
family,
feel
bro.
bad,
It's
'cause
family.
they-
It's family.
I know, but still,
It's family.
shit.
We would do anything for our family. So, especially if we're in a position to do it. But at the same time, you gotta remember, most of our family not thinking like how we think.
Right.
You know, like us as millennials, I feel like our situation is a whole lot different than what our parents' situation was. You know what I mean? Like we're able to take on more, especially at our age, than our parents were. You gotta remember, the economy was completely different when our parents were growing up.
Right.
You know what I mean? So they was buying houses.
Yeah, we making more
They
money
was,
too.
they was buying houses.
Yeah.
Well, you need to realize this too. Every year, the cost of living goes up.
Yeah,
But
especially
everybody's
in
pay
New
don't
Jersey.
go up.
That's very
So
true.
that's why we unbalanced as an economy. Trump done shut down the fucking government because don't nobody anybody trying to pay for that fucking wall.
Right.
You know what I mean? But do you know how much I lost in my 401k in my 401k plan?
I don't know.
My
my
shit
job?
don't even match no more.
I don't even want to say it. I don't even
They
want to say
don't
it
even match.
because that's how bad that the economy is doing. So a lot of times we need, and this is what I'm trying to tell everybody, like you need to read, you need to understand what you're doing. Because a lot of people work at these jobs, you don't even understand that you got money that you put into this company. Nigga, you need to research that company every month. I ain't gonna say everybody got an iPhone, but for most people, most individuals.
I do not.
But for those individuals, no, not even with an iPhone, no. But for the people that got iPhones, you could go into your statistics thing within the
see what you're
stock.
spending?
Exactly where you work at. For me, it was AT&T. I put AT&T on my shit. I need notifications every month to know what's going on. Do I need to move the money? Do I need to keep the money here? Do I need to do something? But knowledge is power, yo. Like you wouldn't know that unless you was reading up and you actually understood it.
So what we're gonna take away from this episode is we gotta do better.
Yeah.
And the first thing is admitting, you know,
Because we
all right,
know.
So we know.
We know now.
We know.
We know.
We know.
So, which is great because
So next year, 2020, all of us should be like, hey, 800 credit score.
2019,
Let's
you
do
no,
this.
next year is 2000.
Yeah, next year, 2000. Well, I mean, it's December.
Well,
yeah, we on our
we
way.
pretty much close.
If you holding on to them last 11 days, you just
yeah.
petty.
No.
We
2020. You was right. 2020 next year.
Yeah, it's lit. That means we got a whole year to get it right.
Yeah. So
Yes.
we'll revisit. We'll do a part 2 of money.
Yeah.
We coming back to y'all.
I should
I
look
think that'd be
sexy
nice.
We
now.
gonna let niggas know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Should be
We
looking
gonna let
sexy
niggas know.
now.
We
You know
might
what
throw
I'm saying?
money. I don't know.
I want to go.
Guys, so I think this was dope. I learned a lot. I think moving forward, I mean, I'm already in the process of doing better, so I'm just gonna be greater.
Yeah.
I would definitely say for anyone listening, definitely save from RIP. That's my, tip for this money episode. I definitely think we're gonna revisit it again once we are all better.
Right.
Guys.
I know I'm definitely going to start putting more money into my savings account, a little more than what I usually do. But
Rainy day money.
yeah, because I need to step this credit up.
I would just want to encourage everybody to download Credit Karma,
Yes.
and to truly understand where it is that you're lacking at within your credit. It'll tell you where you fucked up at, and it'll show you how to get back on your feet from that place. I think, I keep saying it because I'm a firm believer in knowledge is power. So most of us are scared to actually understand like what's going on, like where we messing up, blah, blah, blah. But we need to know. That's the only way it's going to get resolved. So, I encourage everybody to download that app, look at what you owe, and immediately start on a plan and start tackling that, because anything helps. rather than you just not doing nothing at all and then, you ask them. So
I would just say, reiterating, don't keep up with the Joneses. You don't have to. Nobody forcing you to buy that chain or that car or them Jordans. Like, invest. I don't want to sound like the old nigga, but I'm being honest, because when you look 30 years down the line and you got kids, what you got to leave for them? The next phase of life, we talking about having another generation be bigger and better than we are. Just like we are supposed to be for our parents. Like, they did what they had to do to survive and knock down a door for us. We can't be stuck at that doorway. We got to go through that door and build that house for the next generation that's coming. And that happens to be through a lot of financials. You see how these white people are doing, leaving houses, leaving properties to people. We're going to let that go because there's a truck rolling by.
you need to get that car back. They need to get that back.
You got to get that back. It sounds bad. It sounds like a getaway car.
Yeah, they fill that up with diesel.
Book it, Dano. So
You can't wait.
Really?
We on our last
Really?
2 seconds.
We can't
I
go.
got
Like, seriously.
all right.
Y'all cannot hear the.
Just, always, if you got some property, you know what I'm saying, keep that. Don't let people rush you out of that. Give it to your family. Let it recycle through generations. That's the key to wealth. So, that's it.
All right, guys. Well, thank you for joining us again. And we definitely going to do a part 2 because I like this money conversation.
Yeah.
So,
do it every year.
Yeah, that's a good one. We should do it every year. So, all right. See y'all later.
Peace.